Hey guys, I'm Joachi. EpiK port command line has been launched for more than 4 months. But in the community, there's still some of the late miners who have a variety of issues with node deployment. So today, I'm going to do a video tutorial on quick deployment of scripts. For your reference, we can open a previously written version of the document and operate according to it. First of all, we can take a look of the document. At the front of the document are the requirements for our equipment and systems, such as the operating environment. We need to download scripting tool. This is the startup. The deployments can be divided into single machine deployment and multi-machine deployment. The startups of the daemon node will be involved, and the other one is the miner node. These two nodes will be involved. Following is the simple tutorial for multi-machine deployment. We can do a simple operation for the server. I will do an environment initialization. Please wait for a second. We can go back to the script download. When the system environment is ready, through this document, we can download the script. Okay, the script is at this address. We can open the link and take a look. There's the files including Chinese and English ones. There's also a scripting tool and snapshot files. As the downloading take a certain time, I just made an environment right here. I'm going to reset it later. I will export a snapshot first. We need to wait a moment to export the snapshot. Alright, the initial environment is ready, but the snapshot file is in local address. Generally, snapshots are downloaded on the web page. I will show you a little bit later. We need to download the script first. Scripts can be downloaded from this address. After downloading, we authorize and run the script. At first, we needed to deploy a Docker environment. This is based on whether there is a Docker environment on our own initial environment. If there is, we can omit it. If not, we need to install it separately. Here, I will show you how to install the Docker environment. The Docker environment has been installed, and let's continue. Let's choose the single machine deployment node. Enter the option 4 to create daemon node and the miner node. After entering in the normal order, it should be an execution process from top to bottom. But because of the second height is more than 330,000, we can choose snapshot for deployment, as this is one of the fastest rate. So let's take the first step. Go to the snapshot recovery operation process. Import snapshot directly. Enter the path. which is field encoded to the location of data storage. By default is under the EPK directory. Here, enter the snapshot file's URL address or a local address. For the snapshot file on network, we can use the snapshot general address. Let's say if we are going to download the latest one, just copy the shortcut address directly and paste and click enter. I will just use the local one for the internet vision. As for the local address, we need to put the snapshot files under this directory here. Here is a snapshot file, copy it. But if we use this path, it should be under the data directory because this path is used as the container in the Docker environment mapping with physical path. So this is supposed to be under the data directory. Please be aware. Click enter. This is the process of importing the snapshot. After importing the snapshot according to the document, look at this. After the download is complete, there's a process of menu end. Here, after the import is complete, there will be a log refresh, a log reload. Here we need to wait for about 30 seconds. Wait for the snapshot file to be read, and end it manually by entering Ctrl+C. This is the state that has automatically ended. Then, enter option 1 and go to the process of starting the daemon node. This path is the default path. This is an address here, an API IP address. The IP address must be of the server. It's on your network card. My IP address here is an intranet IP because my machine didn't have a public IP on the server. It's a network device, so I will script it. If there's no public IP address, just press enter. This by default, a container will be activated here. From the second page, we can see that there's one launch. When this is done, here's the first wallet address, what we called an owner wallet address. We can do this either by creating or by importing. I recommend that for each daemon node, create an owner node. After finishing creating, we need to transfer some tokens to this address. Each miner node is 0.1 EPK. That's what the document says. If we create 10 miner nodes, it will be 1 plus 0.1 EPK as a feed, which is 1.1 EPK. If we only create a few, transform the tokens in proportion. Hold on a second. I will make a transfer to this address. At the moment, we see that the address is empty. Through the option 9, we can view the SIM's status. Under normal circumstances, we can see done here. If synchronization is complete, we can see now if our wallets have received any transfers. In case of abnormal synchronization status, the data we found is inaccurate. There's also a certain time delays after the transfer. It might take a minute or two. Alright, I have received 0.5 EPK here. Yes. Now we can create a minor node by means of manual creation. We will try creation in batch later. First, we create it manually. We command to create the first nodes manually so that you can observe the process. Even if there's a problem, you can immediately figure out what the problem is. Here is the path. Here's we need to enter the owner wallet. Just copy and paste. Here's we put it on the front desk for execution, so we can look at and how it was created. We can also observe any errors and the reason of them. Press enter by default. Creating the minor nodes will take some time, about 6 minutes or so. We will wait here for a second. Alright, we have created a minor node. Then we will run minor node container. Here we need to number the container. My advice is to start with 1. Here is a path. This path should correspond to the above one. If you have a public IP, you can configure a public IP and a port. If not, leave it blank and press enter directly. After this is created, we can go back to our second window. Here we can see the state of the minor container. Through the scripting tool, we can see the minor ID. This ID is the same as the one we created above. Process to step 5. We go to the process of manual pledge and traffic usage authorization binding. So we are using the option 6. This is not recommended to pledge all the nodes via script, as there will be some security risks. So I'm suggest this way. Here we enter a minor ID and call the function directly. Here we need to enter the worker ID that we found up here. That is it. We still need the owner wallet address, which has been transferred tokens as gas fit. And the binding relationships we can find out form up here. We need to make sure here without any information is wrong. If not, we will just press enter. This address will be transferred 0.1 EPK, and traffic usage authorization bindings will be executed. Here we have done the gas fit insurance and traffic usage authorization binding. Then we will set a Coinbase, which is the address that receives revenue generating by nodes. I would like to use my own miner pool. It can be a miner pool ID or just a normal wallet address. When you fill out your wallet address, there will be an error message if your wallet hasn't been activated. So you need to transform some EPK to activate it. I'm already activated, so I can just use it. There are three options. If all nodes are collected into one wallet, then just press enter. If you want to batch a certain range, then we can use count or single. If all the nodes belongs to ourselves, then press all. We can see this in the EPK exporter. This process takes 5 to 10 minutes. The Coinbase ID for the moment is this one. We will change to an address beginning with 40155. The creation of a single node is now finished. Later, we need to operate on the EPK poacher to proceed with retrieve pledge and no pledge. For the retrieve pledge, as you can see from here, there are 5 to dozens of nodes. We operate on the EPK poacher. For node pledge, after setting this Coinbase, we should wait 10 to 15 minutes, and we will see it later. For the retrieve pledge, as an owner node to the EPK poacher, owner node is above here. Here, this node is the owner address. You can simply add this owner address to your wallet. For retrieve pledge as present, a node may require traffic of 100 EPK to initialize. Let's check it out. Here we can see change Coinbase. This indicates that the Coinbase settings we operate just now has taken effect. But here hasn't changed yet. It will take a few more minutes. During this waiting time, let's try multiply creation in batch, which is only for this whole process. The batch operation involves several pieces of information. The first is the API address, another one is owner address. We need these two pieces of info. Here we start batch creation by executing option 8. Here you will need to fill in the API info. We will just have to copy this here. A path is needed. The path we just filled it out. We can see it here. Here we generate a mined path, which is the EPK path. We used this path before. There's already a minor one down here. If you create new ones, create minor 2, minor 3, minor 4, and so on. We will be 3 more because I only have 0.39 EPKs. Only 3 nodes can be created. This way, we will just fill the path. Here we use script to pledge or just abiding. They can be done by option here. By default, in this option, the relation binding, the basic pledge, let's go straight back. As this is more safer, we need an owner address here, the one we have been using. Or we need to create a few binders. Because I only have 0.3 EPKs, I can only create 3 of them. This is the numbers of the miner ID we start with. We used 1 before, so we have to start with 2. Because I don't have a public IP, I just press enter. Here, we need to wait for 6 to 15 minutes. Let's go back to the earlier stage. There's no log at this stage. We can see the operation log from the second window. This log is already the same as the one we created manually. Here, let's wait for a few minutes here. Alright, the first node has been created. Now we start to process with traffic using binding and prepare the gas. In this process, the second and third nodes are created at the same time. There are 2 of them. We have initialized 2 nodes. Here we have created a -1 and a -2. The process also takes about 6 to 15 minutes. We may wait for a while. In a waiting stage, we don't have to do anything, but we have to make sure the window doesn't close. Now the second, the third node has been created. They will start up automatically and use gas free. The same procedure as the first node. Three nodes have been already created here. We have 1 more to follow. Here we can have a look. For the minor nodes we first created separately, whether its Coinbase has changed, still this one. Here should be a change, this one. Let's refresh it. It has changed to my minor node ID. So when we are done, our first step is to change the Coinbase address. This is the address to receive earning. In any case, we should change it only by our own, so that after pledge, the earnings will go straight to your wallet. Alright, we have got 4 miners containers in place. When we have done here, let's redo the Coinbase of the mining nodes. Alright, now the 4 miner nodes have been created. The containers are ready. We can take a look of all the containers. There are 4. Now we need to change the Coinbase addresses. Click change to the FO address. Here we default all. If you want to batch a certain range, we can enter a count and enter 2 and 4. In this way, the second, third, fourth nodes can be settled. There is no change to current Coinbase. because the node was just created and cannot be found in the browser sometimes. It will take a while. Let me check. There it is now. This address will be changed later. After the change, we need to retrieve pledge and basic pledge. The pledge should be processed in our wallet. We first need to find out owner ID and miner ID. Owner ID is here. There's a note button in the wallet app, and click View Owner. Add it. And deposits a certain amount of traffic. As for the amount, according to the current situation, 10 nodes only needs about 100 EPKs, so about 10 to 30 EPKs per node. If you don't have enough travel, and additions can be made. If you think this is too much, you can redeem it, but wait for 3 days. But you can't redeem all of them. That's the whole thing. Then we do the containers update and import or export of the snapshot. For import and export, through our own nodes, we can do it ourselves. Let's say we are going to export a snapshot. Let me show it. This process should take a few minutes according to your own equipment performance. After exporting, it generates a file. This one, as present, the export file is about 7G. We will wait here for a while. We don't have to worry about that. If you want to see the log files, type in this command of the owner node. This node, that's going to be most or less things like false alarms or warnings. If there's no long-term or persistent, just ignore it. Because the current node is just started and we have no pledge flow, so this is going to have these alarms more or less. These are all the same. It will have these kinds of alarms as soon as this is activated. Because there's no public network mapping and some don't enable binding, so this could be a timeout like this. This is because we didn't do a retrieve pledge and nor a basic pledge, so there's some reports error. It will be solved after you have done the retrieve pledge. From node deployment to miner deployment, whether it is single creation or multiply creation, they are just initialization, startup, and retrieve pledge. Then set up a Coinbase ID, which is the address to collect earnings. There are all 3 procedures, 4 operations. In the batch operation, this is about putting all 3 together. We usually may have problems here. In this case, usually either the errors in parameters or errors in ID, or maybe some errors could be found here, right here. It may be some things wrong with downloading this file. This is because IPFS is inaccessible in some religions. Look at here. Here you need to set the address of IPFS gateway. A tip of this setting is given at the startup of the script. Here. There will be a tips at the startup of the script. By default, we will use this address. If you are out of China, you can choose this address or the default address. This address is inacceptable in China. It can only be visited abroad. Here, you can export the snapshot after you import it. Then distribute them to the other nodes, where import and maintenance of snapshots are available. The benefits of importing and exporting snapshot is to save the disk space. For example, now I only have 100 gig disk. In case of insufficient disk space, snapshot import and output can reduce disk usage. It will delete these files. These two catalogs, we can take a look here. Let's do a snapshot import. We don't have to do anything because the script will fill it out for you automatically. We can take a look at the import process. As presents, all 5 containers are activated normally. Let's do the snapshot import. Let's import the latest one. Here, press enter. They will clean up the catalog, data store, and KV log. It will shut down a container, so we can see that one of the containers has stopped it. This container has stopped it automatically. This is a temporary container which imports the snapshot. After the import is completed, let's get this clean. Enter, Ctrl+C. Here, the snapshot has been imported. End it by Enter, Ctrl+C. Then we return to the second window and check the containers. This container has been destroyed automatically. This container, however, has not automatically started. We can use scripts or instructions to operate. We will start with a script. Just start it right here. Press enter. We can go back to the windows when we have done to check it. The container has been activated, indicating that our entire import process has been complete. We can check the disk usage again, only 26% comparing 27% before. There's supposed to be the same reduction, but as I just imported this, change cannot be observed. Alright, nodes creation, minor creation, page and batch creation have all been covered in this video. If you have any questions, feel free to add Christine Smith in the EpiK Protocol Telegram group. Thank you very much, guys. See you next time.